Got it. I'll have to mute this out and then we'll get started here. Super excited about tonight. In the chat, I'm gonna look through the chat in just a second. I'm gonna ask a couple people to share a couple little things when we get started here in a second. I just wanted to always come together and mute this out. Okay, we're muted. Okay, good. So first off, I'm gonna introduce myself. I know most of you all know me. Hey, Nino, what's up, buddy? Nino, is it official? You're officially retired? I was thinking July. I'm not sure. Chad, it was great to see you out there in Minnesota. Michael, it's good to have you on. I know we have what's up, Michael? The other Michael. Nice. I like this. Charles is in the group. That's awesome. Dom's new. Super excited. I know we have I don't know, 15, 20 new people on. So as you all know, it takes a little time to warm things up a little bit for some. Next week, congratulations, Nino. Nino is graduating from the fire department. Because of our situation at home at the moment, I am going to keep this really tight. But the one thing I just wanted to say is this next 28 days, the idea behind this is about making a shift. And I want you to think about whatever your goals were. And I didn't get a chance to look yet. I only seen one thing written in the chat. So maybe it's on my phone and it didn't come onto this chat. It's exactly what happened. So I didn't see anybody's goals. If you don't mind putting the chat again, definitely put it down in the chat. But one of the things that I want you to think about is, what is it like once you achieve your goals? So like Nino's graduating, he's retiring from the fire department. He's retiring from the fire department. I'm gonna flip my phone over. I thought one of you guys texted me. And at the end of the day, it's like his whole life is changing, right? And he knows it. So it's easy when you know your life is changing because you can put a lot of things in place. But when you're in your same world and environment, and then what happens in 28 days from now that's going to sustain the new results that you have. And that's the idea that this 28-day challenge is not just to get a great result. We all want that. I have people that go, hey, I want to drop belly weight. Awesome. So to do that, what is the new life that we have to create? What's the new lifestyle? And like Matt, Jeff's not on here. He's normally on everything, but he was walking like crazy pace. But he's like me; his body's a little bit beat up, and so he probably won't sustain a 13-minute mile, right? But he could probably sustain a 16-minute mile. And so you see the difference is like you can push your body so far, but if you can't sustain it as a new lifestyle, then that's okay to challenge yourself. But it's more important to find something that you can find a new way to live if you want to maintain that results. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like if you want to have a lot of money, you have to work, you have to put a lot of effort in. But at the same time, you want to have a good relationship with your kids, you have to put a lot of effort and work there too. You can't have them both up here all the time. You can fluctuate them, right? And find it's not balance, it's finding, we call it priorities when wherever you have to put that energy in. So what I want you to focus on in this is in the chat. You put down some of the goals in here, but I want you to write down, like Michael said, goal is 20 more pounds of fat and lean. So I want you to think about what do you want to gain in this? So he put down, he wants to lean. That's great. That's a gain. But what does that gain look like? And so something I want you to kind of put down, I want you to think about is what's measurably that you could gain. Let's say that it's to run a mile in 7 minutes, right? And that you want to create that as your new standard. And if you're like, if I could run a mile in 7 minutes whenever I wanted to, and I could be consistent at doing that, once a week, 5 times a week, 10 times a week, and I can do it anytime until I'm 60. Like I want to do a backflip every year until I can't do a backflip anymore, right? If I can do that, that means a lot of things in my life have been put into place to sustain that. Does that make sense? So it's easy to maintain my results. So what are you trying to gain? If you can gain that improvement, you will then maintain the 20 pounds off. Does that make sense? So I know Carlos will be, he'll be watching the replay here and you want to lose belly fat. And that's awesome. But what do you want to gain in this? What is the gain? I want to be able to do 30 push-ups. They did a study, Merlin sent it to me. They did a study on people that could do over 40 push-ups. Their risk of heart disease was like 300% less. And I go, do you think it's the push-ups or is the fact that you have to be consistently healthy to do 40 push-ups? Does that make sense? I think that's the secret. It's not the push-up itself. It's just that the act of being able to do 40 means that you got to do a lot of other things well to maintain that. So in the chat, I want you to put down, if you have something, I want you to put down a gain that you have in mind. And while you're writing that in the chat, Marlon, I would love for you to jump on. And Michael, or you also, or Chad, anybody that did the last challenge with us, maybe just give like one gain that you gained or a perspective you gained from the last challenge we did. And then we'll wrap up tonight's Zoom.
I'll go. I gained a lot of consistency. The last challenge really pushed me to be consistent. And I pretty much didn't do it 4 days a week. I pretty much did it 7 days a week. Some
now,
days
what can you maintain though long term?
What can I maintain long term?
Can you maintain 7 days a week long term?
No, but I can sure maintain 5.
There you go. There you go. See, I'm okay with you going overboard as long as you can find what's that maintain look like, that new standard you hold yourself by. Maintain's probably the wrong word. It's probably a standard you hold yourself by.
Yes.
You know, I hold myself by a standard of working out 3 times a week, no matter what. And you guys don't know this. On Monday, I'm having a hip replaced, and I'll still get my 3 days a weekend. I don't know how, but I'll get it in. I'll get it in somehow.
I'm sure you'll find a way.
So that's awesome. Anything else that you gained through that last journey?
A lot of muscle, actually.
Yeah.
I did gain.
How about strength? Did you see it? Do you see something in your strength change throughout that 28 days?
Yes, most of my exercises in the gym have increased the weights.
Perfect. Now, is there a new level that you hold yourself to now that you're at this new standard?
Well, I'm at those levels, and I'm just keep going up.
All right.
Cool. Being 60 years old, I have to take it easy on the connective tissue. So I can't.
I'm okay with that.
I can't push too hard.
That's the point. The whole idea isn't to beat yourself up; it's to create a standard to live by. I hope that makes sense. I try to like quantify that as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else want to share that did the last challenge? Anybody want to share a gain they had? And just for all you new people, we really focused on gain. A lot of people want to lose weight, but if you focus on your gains, I know Marlon. He literally, or Merlin, sorry, Merlin. I'm all confused now. I got Marlins and Merlins coming from he's like, I mean, he was plateaued for how long were you plateaued on your weight?
You know, Dustin, it was probably 5 or 6 months that I just kind of stayed right around the same. And it wasn't 2 weeks in and I had dropped 3 or 4 pounds within the first like 12 or 13 days.
Awesome.
And then since we started that, I've dropped like 16 or 17 pounds now. So,
awesome.
But I was focused. Number one, I did not eat enough food. I wasn't eating enough. I was starving myself. So
we're going to talk about that in a second. I appreciate that. Anything else you gained? I mean, obviously that's loss. What did you gain in that? I think you gained a lot of knowledge about how to fuel your body. I think that was probably the best thing you gained was you got to feed the beast, feed the warrior.
And that's exactly right. Because the things that I learned will last me forever, you know, and I was going to work and I work a lot of, or like a bunch of hours. And then I was going to the gym, but I was waking up in the middle of the night hungry. And for a long time, I thought, man, that's normal, you know, because of what I'm trying to do. But I learned that I need to feed the beast. So, and mentally, I am like thinking, man, that's way too much food, but it's not. So
awesome. I appreciate
it's the right kind of food. So
right, that's just it. You almost can't overeat the right foods. It's you know, Dr. Ryan Lowry talks about all the time. He goes, it's like if you're low carb, especially, it's really hard to overeat. But even the right foods, high quality foods, it's actually really hard to overeat them. I mean, you can get some emotional states. We got some stuff going on in our family right now that can create that, but that's not the way we're living, right? Because we're always focusing on growing in so many other places. Anybody else want to share before I just close out on that last part that you just talked about feeding the beast? I know we had a few other people. I know Michael, Chad, Nino. Anybody else that wanted to share? If not, that's cool. I'm just waiting here. All right, cool. All right. So as you're new to this, the web page that I have up, I'm going to be adding some new workouts to this, some things I had in there. I think I had some things language wrong. So I'll be adding some new workouts there into there. And the idea is I have another guy that he's not super active into the group as much, but he's been doing my interval trainings, and he's a biker, and he's like 300 plus pounds. And he's biking, and he is setting a huge standard using the interval cycles, and he's doing it in a really cool way. But he's using that as his strategy to get fit. And he's using the bike as his strategy of because it's less on his joints. He likes to bike. He likes to get out. But the big thing I want everybody to really pay attention to, and I think it's really important, is we're still following the core 4 principles, right? So drink your ketones every day. You work out 4 days a week, 30 minutes minimum. Now, it doesn't have to be hardcore workouts. If your body is fatigued, give it a day off, but you can still go for a 30-minute walk. Still set your stuff that standard of 4 days, but don't have to be push, but push your body to a level that you want to go to, right? Marlon and I are a little older. Our joints are a little bit wore down. So we're not always killing it in the gym, if that makes any sense. We're being responsible, but we're still holding ourselves to a higher standard. We're still pushing ourselves, but not trying to beat ourselves up. Okay. Now the next thing is the meals. I'll talk about that in a second. And then the accountability. We're going to encourage you 4 days a week to share your journey on social, share it in the group. We're going to ask for things in the group. I'm going to ask for everybody that participated last time. I want you to help me over Sunday. I'll probably be pretty involved Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those 3 days after surgery, I'll be in the hospital for a couple of days. I'll probably be a little out of it, just so you all know. So feel free to jump in and give some insights, because this is not rocket science, y'all. It's actually fundamentally pretty basic. But they have a lot of wisdom. They probably have more than they actually even probably realize. The last part is the food. So Improve It, we get caught up into, fasting and everything else, which I think is great. And it's great for anti-aging longevity. But the one thing that we have to be aware of is we still have to feed the body. So people are like competitively fasting and not fueling their body. And that's not the way humans were designed to do. So we get competitive on the extremes of the other side of it. So what we did is I took Dr. Jacob Wilson's protocol that he built out, a year ago. And that's what I presented to everybody and said, listen, follow this. And so it's 4 days a week. I use Prove It meals. They've been wonderful for me. So 4 days a week, I do my ketones morning and afternoon. I do Keto Kick for my pre-workout. And then what I did is I do my 2 meals a day, intermittent fast. So that's 4 days. I wrote the schedule on there. There's a printout too. There's a really good new printout. If you haven't seen it, print that out. It's really awesome. It says print guide on that website. And I'll send that website into the chat again. So the next thing is 2 days. I want you to fuel your body. And I did that as Wednesday and Saturday. Feed. Eat as much as you want. Still hold yourself to high quality standards. Like eat high quality food. But Dom, if you're like Dom's a chef, he can cook like amazing. Dude, that's when you go and do it. But thinking about it as fuel, not, I'm messing up. No, I'm feeding the warrior. I'm feeding myself so I can go out and perform again. Now, on that day, if you want a little bit of fun, you're having a little dessert, it's a wedding, you're going to have a couple drinks of alcohol, have it on those 2 days. Add that into those 2 days. It's your free day to fuel your body, okay? You can be as strict as you want, or you can be as loose as you want. That's your journey to decide, right? For me, it's about designing a lifestyle that I can sustain forever. And then what I do is 1 day a week, this is optional, you do a 24-hour fast, which is Sunday to Monday night. That's how I wrote the schedule. So what you're doing is you're giving yourself a little reset. We can still do the reboot through this journey. I would still do all that, but add the 2 fuel days. And see what happens when you fuel your body. See what happens. See how your energy, you're like, Marlon hits me up. He's like, dude, I feel like just like strong. He felt the energy when he fed it. So if you're in caloric deficit too long, your body is in a deprivation stage. It's not in a growth stage. Now, if you're overfeeding yourself too long, you get complacent. You feed a dog too much food, it doesn't want to do anything. You starve a dog too long, they annoy the heck out of you. There's a balance in there. Does that make sense? You got to feed it the right amount from time to time, but you don't want to overfeed it and you don't want to underfeed it. Okay. Now the fasting days help with the body composition and the anti-aging, right? I still eat. My weight's always been the same. I'm the same for 7 years. So I haven't changed anything, but I don't think I realized how much people were fasting, not fasting, just cutting their calories too low. And they weren't feeding themselves. I naturally do that because as an athlete, we never focused on calorie cut. We always focused on enough food. As a military guy, can you get enough food? It was always, can you eat enough? It was never cut back. right? So I'm programmed kind of opposite of what most people are in their health journey. And I didn't realize, I think, how much that was pushed out to the world. So when you think about food, I want you to follow that schedule and then have fun with this, y'all. But I really want you to encourage in the chat, when you get back into the messenger thread, what's your gain, and have a benchmark. So when you get to print out the guide on the last section, and I'm going to challenge everybody. I already did my mile walk. I've done my whole measurement, but I want you to do is assess yourself. Go do your mile walk, do a plank, do some burpees, do some push-ups, anything that you can physically do that doesn't hold you back, like is like an injury, do the assessment and write it in there. Now add your own assessment to it. If you have something else that you're passionate about, if Michael likes to go run, then dude, go run, go push yourself to whatever standard, and then go, okay, 28 days, I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard, and then try to make that the new bar you want to set. Okay. So any questions for me before I hop off? Mine, this is a unique one because I'm going to be literally going through surgery after 5 days in. And so I have unique goals. My goals will be the most unique they've ever been. I have a couple shoulder external rotator strength goals that I'm going to be setting for myself. So it's kind of weird, but it's fine. It's my goals. So anybody have any questions for me?
Dustin,
Sure.
I will hit you a message, but I need the name of the women's group. My daughter bought her ketones, and so she'll be joining that one. Okay?
Awesome. Did the link not? I'm going to test everything tomorrow. Once hopefully things settle down, I'll test everything on the website. There's a link for the group on the website. It says on there, but Luis is the one that put it on there, so I don't even know. He knows how to run all that stuff, but maybe I heard some people get glitched and some people it works for. But we'll get connected, or maybe just introduce her and me a messenger, and then I can just add her directly to the group. So we do have a women's group, y'all. I'm just going to tell you, man, those ladies are. They're just fired up. They're coming out of the woodworks everywhere. So that's cool. This is designed for dudes to talk dude talk, and however that sounds, it's going to sound. And let's have some fun with this, y'all. We can still add some guys. They can get in the next couple of days. After that, it's probably going to just be too late. If you're checking out this replay, stay in the chat with us. Kind of plug in with the chat as often as you can. There's no hard feelings if you can't be in there all the time, but feel free to share your perspectives because we all bring different wisdoms and different times. So definitely please feel free to share. Cool.
New guys, the chat is very motivational, just to throw that in there.
Yes, it is. It helped me tremendously. So
help me a bunch, help me push through and